Hey guys, what's up? Thought I'd come on here and give you a video real quick. Wasn't able to do it first thing this morning, so I figure I'll do it now. Sorry it's midday or a little bit past. I do apologize for that. Somebody give me a 5 for 5 there in the chat to make sure everything's okay as far as audio and video and all that kind of stuff. If I could, one of my mods maybe would be great. 5 for 5. All right, baby. Thanks, Tab. Appreciate that. Okay, guys. Hey, IG, Arizona, Randy, Christina, Annie, what's up? Darren. Okay, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. Moderators, just kind of hold it down in there for me if you would. I would appreciate that, and we'll get it started. Hey, Monty Mark, what's up? I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to hide the chat for now. And, so you guys know how to do it. Hey, Gina, what's up? Hey, what's happening? Angela holding it down in the Bronx, baby. Awesome. Woo-hoo. Okay, guys. The Schumann, again, guys, not really much going on. I know you guys see this right here probably. That's just a little block of missing data. There's a whole lot of reasons that can happen. Most likely, it's something that isn't that big of a deal. Let's face it, sometimes I got to do some maintenance and stuff on these tools. And, sometimes they just break down, too. So, it only missed, 1, 2, 3, 3.5 hours, maybe. I wouldn't hold too much stock in it if that was anything at all. Because if you look at these other signatures, it actually just continued right through. So there probably wasn't much going on in here. We can go look at some other tools if we wanted to, but I'm not going to do that because not much is going on. Looks like there might have been a little start of a spike right here, so I guess there could have been one here. Not sure, but regardless, I didn't notice anything myself as far as physically, but no ringing in my ears or anything like that. That horizontal diagonal thing is doing it right here too again. And again, I still think this is probably a tool issue. I don't see it being anything else. It's just too sequential. Nature doesn't work like that. So, yeah, there you go with that. Again, I will be showing you guys, we got a really big coronal hole. We also had some filaments busting off that, one of them was really, really sizable, but luckily it went off the backside. I'm not really sure exactly how strong it was because we don't have the detectors back there, but it looked to be pretty sizable, and I'll show it to you guys here in just a few minutes. But as you got with the X-ray flux, not much going on as flaring, but we do have some active areas on the sun facing Earth, so we're going to have to keep an eye on those. Solar proton flux here, that's radiation storms, nothing going there. Geomagnetic activity, actually we're in pretty good condition right now. We're not so far low that we start worrying about cosmic rays, and we're not high enough to even be concerned with, even aurora. So right now we're, just kind of in a real slow pattern, but I can confidently say I really do think that in the next couple of days we're going to be in a storm level. And I'll explain here in just a second. So I guess it's kind of the calm before the storm. So again, guys, this is NOAA Prediction Center, so Space Weather Prediction, sorry. And so they're forecasting, guys, and if you look here on the 20th, you can see that they're predicting a storm. Okay, well, they're forecasting it. Let's see here exactly what they do say. And that's radiation storm. I really didn't read all that yet. I typically do, but I forgot to read it. Geomagnetic storms are likely. Okay, so they're saying likely. Sometimes that'll say possible. Sometimes that'll say maybe kind of type of thing. But right now, they're saying likely. So you can pretty much bet that we're probably going to get there, I would think, this time. Again, they're saying G1, but we never know exactly. It could come in under that, or it could come in over. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But just take a first look at the sun. You guys can see this. This is a sizable coronal hole. We connected to this thing probably yesterday. And, Something else of note here too that's kind of interesting. We've got an active area here right in the middle of this hole that started to emerge, and I'll show the birth of it to you here in just a second. But yeah, that's interesting when you see that happen. On the hole, where the atmosphere is a little bit colder here on the sun, allowing some of these charged particles to flow out. To see a sunspot kind of pop up right in the middle of that, I don't think it happens very often, but it happened this time. We got these two up here, and this is definitely something we're going to have to watch as it rotates through. This one, we're still watching it because it is, has a chance to kind of do what they do, but it is rotating off. So here in the next couple of days, this one will be off the limb of the sun, and it'll put it at no risk to us. But this one, we're going to have to watch it, and there's some more behind this one too. If you look at the stereo A from the side view, you can see a few little active areas there that we need to pay attention to. Something else here, look at this. You see this dark area? This is a filament. This thing here, this whole thing is a filament. So we're going to have to watch this really close because it is, right in front of us. If this thing was to flick off right now, we would most definitely get something from it, most likely. Okay? Not only is it kind of equatorial, the base of it, but it's even vertically, it's like right in front of us. And when it does rotate through, it's going to do that. Now, back in, when we were in part of the sun cycle that was the maximum, we've seen a lot of these things flicking off. And that's pretty normal. But they seem to be pretty intense that last sun cycle, at least the filament part did. So, yeah. So, as far as Aurora, I'm not going to waste your time with that. Now, here on the geomagnetic, GOES magnometer, sorry guys, we're starting to get back to a little bit normal of a kind of a, an up and a down here. That's usually what we see. We usually don't see the straight lines like I was showing you guys in the last video. Now, the electron flux is, acting up a little bit. Not much to worry about, though. You can definitely see here on the KP down here that we're hanging low. But again, it wouldn't take much to get too low to get cosmic ray risk, but also with this coronal hole, may actually be a blessing because it could, help block some of those cosmic rays. And so we do kind of worry about that sometimes. And it's like I said before, guys, the sun protects us from the sun. It's weird to think of it like that, but it's the truth. When the sun is strong, typically our magnetic field is stronger also. So, that's how I would say it. Let's get that off of there. Is everybody okay in there? Hey, Hilly, what's up, bud? Knowledge, Muse, what's happening? Hope he's still in there. Sweet. Arizona. So it's good to see everybody in here, guys. Again, I'm sorry it's in the middle of the day. I just had some stuff going on. IG's in here too, I think. Yeah, there you are. How you doing? So yeah, guys, I just wanted to say hey, put you guys back away here so I can get through this. But anyway, space weather conditions. Okay, we got solar wind speed is low. Okay, you can see it here in the yellow. 3 to 500 is normal, and you can see we're encroaching upon the lower end of that. And again, it's not going to stay like that. Here in the next day or so, we're going to start seeing the uptick. But here's the density. Same thing with this. This is just kind of normal. 4 is normal, for those that don't know. The BZ, it's hanging right around 0, maybe a little down and up here. But we look for -6 on the angle here to see if, conditions are favorable for, the space weather to make it in easier. But we're not even coming close to that right now. So that's why we're not having any kind of space weather, anything at all right now here on Earth. We're not seeing much of anything there. Here is and again, I'm not going to waste your time on this one much either because this is the magnetopause models, and I'm just going to grab it because you're going to see not a whole lot is happening. It's just really quiet geomagnetically. Now, I know that looks all kinds of crazy, but remember what we're looking at here. Okay, we're looking at density. So it's just showing how the particles are dense. Okay, the blue. And actually, when we get the solar wind stream or the coronal hole wind stream, you're going to see that this is probably going to, it might start off higher dense, but the faster the speed, it'll grab some of these particles and flush them out, and it'll become more looking like this. Except I've seen this whole thing be white. I've shown you guys when the whole thing was white. Whole thing is, I've shown you when it was all blue, nothing else on it also. But remember what we're looking at. This is just density. This is just speed. Now down here they simplify it for everybody and they add the word pressure. This is magnetic pressure. So I'll just, I'm just going to grab this one too because we're not even going to see much. Okay, you see that? I mean, really, conditions are really just kind of quiet at Earth right now. Again, this is going to follow suit, geoelectric field model. It's a space weather's effect on our electrical grid or unnatural electrical components, transformers, wires, anything electrical that is man-made. Okay, and again, I have to say they're still working on this model. You see how it looks like an uptick around these little blotchy areas? Well, those are the bigger cities. Okay, so there's more components there for it to, affect. That's why this is showing it like that. You don't see it so much over here on the, the one-dimensional model over here. So I'm not sure if they're going to tweak that in or not, or if they want it to be like that. Regardless, this really gives us a good idea, how this is affecting us as what we get concerned with as far as power outages and stuff like that. So this is a really great tool to look at. Aurora, again, like I said, guys, I'm not going to waste much time showing you guys this because there's just nothing going here. It's just really, really quiet. See, that thing, it wasn't even bouncing around hardly at all, fluctuating. So, I mean, it's just like we're in this, like, really, I guess, ambient condition type of situation. Now, here, this is that filament or eruption off the sun here that blew off. Now, that was the one on the 16th. Okay, that's the one I already showed you. They haven't updated it for the next one. And I'll show that one to you here in just a second. There's been quite a few little filament blasts off and little eruptions on the sun, on the sides and even off the backside. Luckily, and one of them looked like it could be coming at us a little bit. We'll talk about that in just a second. Matter of fact, we'll talk about that right now because I got you here at Seeds. This is Lasco C2. This is on the Soho Observatory, always looking at the sun. Okay, it's our view. So you're going to see this camera kind of wig out a little bit too, but don't you wig out because what happens is sometimes when we get these eruptions and stuff, when the light reaches the camera or the tool itself, it'll overexpose it. Even though we got the occulter here, sometimes that light leaks around the corner. You're going to see what happens. Okay, so let me just push start. See that? Now, even myself, I used to think that was a big deal. But once I figured out that I can recreate that with my own camera. And that's what I'm trying to say. So it's just a big blast of light. It's all that is. So if we go like this and we go forward here, obviously you're seeing, a couple little jet-style ejections here. Again, there were some filaments being released there. Again, there's the big light finally. Because if you look at this, if you back this up, you can just look at the timing when it did it. Okay? So if I go like this, see how it's starting to get real bright down here? And then bam. Okay? So when things move at the speed of light, if you look at your timestamp, it takes it about a little over 8 minutes for that light to get here, to get to this satellite. And if you look at the timestamp, 7:12 to 7:24, about 12 minutes, kind of in between there. Okay, so it probably caught maybe this is when that one. Okay, so, or just the next one, who knows? But I do think that's what that is. Okay, you can tell how this is that is the exact shape of the occulter. That's what this is. Okay. So we'll move on from that. But is this gonna? I'll take you back to the 16th real quick. And this one, the one I already showed you here, is this CME. And it's a good, I'm glad this thing updated because I want to show you this. You know, if you look at the CME tracker, you see how it's blowing off the backside at this angle? And I said this a bunch of times. If you look at this, this is from our view, right? Doesn't this kind of look like it could be coming at us? Right? Well, the reason why it looks like that is because we're looking dead on. So we can't tell if it's actually coming at us or going off the backside unless we either got this to look at or we can go to stereo A, which is from the side. If I can get back to it. So I'll go back here to the 16th and see it's off the backside. Here's the satellite here. Earth's angle would be over. Earth would be over here, but way back, right? But that would be the perspective of it. So that's why that looked like, you know, it did on LASCO C2. That's why it's important that we look at two different, at the very least two different satellites. Okay, one from the side, one from the front, because there's no other way we can even attempt to get a good idea of what direction this is going. You know, we really have to have those kinds of procedures there you have to go through. And just to say, oh, that's coming right at us, you know, and again, I used to do the same thing. And I'm just trying to help others to understand that. So if we go here and we look at we start looking at the coronal hole. Now remember, this is the 211. This 211 is going to it's going to look like it's bigger than what it really is. Okay, because I explained that yesterday. If you want to know why, go back and watch that part of the video. But you can definitely see that this is a substantial hole. Okay, this is something that it's one of the bigger ones we've seen in quite some time, actually. The southern hole stretched up and it connected to it. And it just bridged together. So this was back on the 16th. So I'd bet we already connected to that back then. That's close enough to Earth strike zone here. Okay. So if I grab this and I move it forward, now watch, remember that sunspot I said, or active area at least. I don't think it has a number yet. But watch what happens right here in the middle of it. See that? It just like bam, you know. Now I've seen it happen like that before, but not very often. You know. Also, if you look here, we had another active area kind of show its head right here. See how it's getting bright? Now here's that other sunspot, and we'll take a look at that on a different one here in just a second. But these are both very, they got their act together pretty good. But this is the one we're going to keep an eye on. And again, here's that filament stretching across. If that thing decides it wants to do whatever, we're going to have to pay attention to that one. So if I back this up, I'm going to show you guys this too. Am I on the right angstrom? I think I'm just going to show it to you on the other one. Be better this way, I think. You'll be able to see down here where we've had another eruption back here. Okay, this is not the one on the CME tracker. This happened just a few hours ago. So watch what happens right here. See that? Okay, now I can't definitively say exactly how much of that left the sun. It looks to be like that might have been off the limb, kind of, and the sun itself might be shielding us a little bit from that. If that had been over here and it did that, we might be talking about something different. You see how it's twirling? Ain't that pretty cool? Now, again, what are we looking at? They call those solar vortexes when they're on the surface and stretching all the way down. And what those are, it's not like a wind blowing around. It's magnetic connection lines, and it's the particles traveling on that line. And when those magnetic lines twist, that's what it looks like. That's all that is, okay? That's what a solar vortex really is. But, you know, like I said, the sun's getting kind of active right now. Now watch over here. You see how we got filaments stretching up? That hasn't released yet. Okay, so if I go up here and I show you guys the rest of these, back it up here a little bit. I may have to go back a little bit further. See, I just caught the end of it right here, so I am going to go back a little bit more. Let me, I'll go ahead and load that up while we're talking here. I'm going to do the same over here. I'll show you the 304 here too, because this is the one we look at when we're looking at filaments. It gives us a really good view of them. And again, you can kind of see the dark here of that one filament. But let me go ahead and grab, let's do this like this. Again, watch down here. Here's that one that was started spinning, right? Okay. And then you got the ones over here. I mean, there's a lot of filaments on the sun, you know, showing themselves right now. They look to be trying to lift off. Some of them do. And if they lift off, obviously that's plasma, and that would be an eruption. And that would mean that we would have to pay attention for for any kind of issue. So watch up here. I set this back, a little bit, but watch this one back here. Hopefully it catches it this time if I went back far enough. Come on. Okay. Oh, I didn't hit the dag on it. Sorry about that, guys. Let me go here. Sorry about that. Well, while that's loading, what I'll do is, well, it might load pretty fast. How fast? Yeah. Well, let's go over here and check out USGS real quick. Again, you got the earthquake that happened. This was yesterday. Okay, well, late in the day yesterday, about 8 o'clock Eastern. And so this is the one in Algeria. Now, you see the boxes. Remember, if they're not green, you really need to look at them. So if I click on that, you got the percentages of what's going on here. Estimated economic loss, you can read the percentages there. And here, fatalities, these are the chances of these many people have passed away. Now, I haven't seen any, reports of anybody passing away. So I don't know exactly, if that actually happened yet or not. But regardless, it was pretty substantial. It was just right off the coast there, too. So it was over the water, but it still, gave them some good shaking. So if we go over here to Google Earth, if you guys want to know where that's at, let me just take you guys here to it real quick. Okay, so this is the location of it, right here. You can see, I don't know how to pronounce that. Baya, I guess. Baya, I don't know how to pronounce that one. But if I back this off, you can see where it's at. So it is over the water. And I don't think there was any kind of tsunami risks there. I didn't hear any reports of it. But yeah, so that's the exact location of that on Google Earth. I'll probably start showing you guys Google Earth when I show you the locations of these from now on. So I think it's important to know and kind of see topographically here what we're looking at, because sometimes they'll be around. A lot of times they're around volcanoes. So, and I showed you guys one of those yesterday. I believe that was the one off of Russia, and we had that volcano just shortly to the west of it. So yeah. So let's go back here. There's that eruption again. So let me back it up. We're going to be looking up here. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Let's again up in here. I'm just going to back it up. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to pick it up much. Now, we could go over to SDO real quick and look, but I'm not going to do that. Now, if we look at the 304, what I could do is do this one real quick, because I think that if you guys see this thing lifting off, it definitely is something pretty cool to see. This filament yesterday, or on the 16th, when it did its thing, no, this wasn't on the 16th, this was on the 17th. This was pretty cool because a lot of it went back to the sun, and there was a lot of solar rain with it. It looked to be anyway. And all that is plasma going back to the sun. That's all solar rain is. Okay, so here's that filament. See how it arced back that way? So let me restart that. See that? Okay, so look at that. Isn't that cool? So that was a sizable one. Now you see what happened. This is giving us a great view of this stuff coming back to the sun. Some of it. Now a lot of it did leave. Okay, make no mistake. That a lot of that stuff left the sun, but it flicked out this way. Now I don't think any of it was coming at us. Okay, so I'll back it up a little bit more here. And so it lifted off, that filament snapped in half, and then a lot of it, you can see it coming back to the sun right here. And what it's doing is it's charged particles coming back to the surface on a magnetic connection line. That's exactly what that is. You can see it when it hits the surface. See how it generates that light, which is probably most likely heat. So, yeah, I just thought that was cool. I thought you guys would like to see that one. Okay. Alright, guys. You guys got any questions for me real quick? And then I'm going to have to get out of here. I'm trying to keep this one short. I may come back on later on tonight and we'll talk about some more stuff. If you guys, if you guys want me to, I might. We'll see what's up. Yeah, it's getting pretty active, and I don't think it's going to slow down here anytime soon. So yeah. Oh, somebody was asking me too. I haven't mentioned it in the past few videos, but yeah, they were asking me what my PayPal was. There's a link to my PayPal if anybody wants to, help me out. I hate even mentioning it. That's why I don't mention it unless somebody reminds me typically. So anyway, yeah, it's there if you guys want to help. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Hilly. Appreciate that, bud. So yeah. Hey, Nibby, what's up? Birthday, what's happening? Hilly. I'm gonna try to have fun. Who said have fun? Oh, I was okay, Nibby. Yeah, I'm gonna try. So yeah, I think yeah, it's gonna get interesting, guys. And like I said, guys, we want some stuff to come our direction. Okay, we don't want it just to never get anything. We have to have some sort of geomagnetism to keep us healthy usually, okay? It does help us, especially our magnetic field. It helps that. And, so when we can get, like, blast from the sun that maybe isn't so catastrophic looking, that would be the ideal thing. I mean, if we could stay between a 3 and a 4 on the KP, I think that would be healthy. Maybe between 2 and 4, like that area, we'd never have nothing to talk about. So if that happened, it'd be pretty boring, wouldn't it? But yeah, so I think that again, we're just gonna have to. Oh yeah, thank you, Isaiah. My gosh, I about forgot. Thank you. I talked to Ron Tyler yesterday. We're going to do it. I think I'm going to interview him here on my channel, and he may simulcast it on his at the same time. Emergency Management Associates. Ron's a really good guy, and him and Terry, they're good people. So I'm going to bring him over, and we're going to, have a talk and, see what his background is. He used to be in law enforcement and all those kinds of things, and he's done a lot of study with earthquakes. So we're going to talk about that and all that kind of a thing. So if you guys want to check it out, it's going to be next Wednesday. We're going to try to set it for 2 Central time. That's going to be a loose thing there because we still got a week. And if it updates from then, I'll let you guys know. Okay. But again, we're going to try to do that. I'm trying, you guys, just let me explain why I'm doing this. You know, I get a lot of questions on, you know, things that, you know, what can we do? What can we do about any of this? What should we be looking at? And those kinds of things. That's why I had Rip on the show. Okay. The prepping end of it. Ron knows earthquakes. So I'm going to, you know, I don't necessarily know earthquakes all that well. I have a basic understanding. Verte, he has a really good understanding of the Schumann. That's why, you know, I'm trying to get people to be able to have an avenue to go to be able to go, you know, get some information and do your own research. And let me stress that. Do your own research, please. I'm going to show you observations, and I'm not going to tell you guys what to think. That is not my job here. My job is to show the observations and not steer your mind. You guys are smart. You guys make up your own mind. But I do encourage you not to just look at stuff that, you know, that you already think is true. Look at stuff that you don't think is true. Look at it. Research it. Most of the time, you're going to come back to the first thing you thought, but sometimes you don't. We just got to challenge it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And I don't want to be the one to be wrong and have steered you guys in that direction. So that's why, you know, it's observations for me. And if somebody asks my opinion, I'll give it. So, yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up, Davis? How you doing, Jeff? So, yeah, guys, I am going to go ahead and get off of here. I don't want this to go much longer because people want the shorter ones at the beginning. So, I will, you know, we're going to have a typical live stream that I do, like I have been doing here in the next day or so. So, I want to, you know, just put that out there. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink